If you think tourism is just about packing a bag and going on vacation, you're really only seeing the tip of the iceberg. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and uncover the massive hidden world that springs to life behind every single trip anyone has ever taken.
Let's start with a big question. Can a single choice, made by just two people planning a holiday, maybe hundreds of miles away, can that one decision actually change an entire local economy? Well, the answer is a huge, definitive yes. And it all starts with a single click.
So, imagine this. Our story starts with a simple decision. Picture a couple in Germany, planning their big getaway to Rhodes. The second they hit buy on that plane ticket, a massive chain reaction kicks off. That's the first ripple, and it goes straight into the aviation industry. Okay, so next up, they book their hotel. And just like that, the ripple gets bigger, now touching the accommodation sector. That one reservation isn't just a room number. It supports the hotel, its owners, and every single person on staff, from the receptionist at the front desk to the housekeepers making sure the room is absolutely perfect. Of course, when they get there, they're going to get hungry. That one dinner they have at a local taverna, it does so much more than just fill their stomachs. It supports the restaurant owner, the waiters, the chefs, and it goes even deeper than that. It goes all the way back to the local farmers who grew the vegetables and the fishermen who are out at dawn catching the fish. You see how the impact spreads? And finally, they want to really see the island, so they book a guided tour. Now stop and think about that for a second. A single holiday decision, made weeks ago in Germany, has just created a direct demand for your skills right there in Rhodes. That one click is what ultimately creates your future job as a tour guide. This entire chain reaction, from that mouse click in Germany all the way to your salary in Rhodes, that is what we call the tourism phenomenon. It's not just a bunch of random bookings, it's a powerful economic engine, and it all got started with that very first decision. So what exactly is tourism, officially? Well, the formal definition actually helps us get a handle on this. It says it's the set of activities a person does when they travel temporarily away from their usual home base. And the reason for the trip? It could be anything: leisure, business, education, you name it. So that fancy definition really just boils down to three simple ideas. First, there's movement. You actually have to go somewhere else. Second, temporariness. You're planning on coming back. This is what makes a tourist different from a migrant. And third, purpose. You're there for a reason, whether it's to relax on a beach, attend a conference, or study abroad. Now, while booking a whole trip on your phone feels super modern, that desire to get out and explore is, well, it's as old as humanity itself. Tourism didn't just pop up out of nowhere. It has a long and really fascinating history. It all started with things like religious pilgrimages way back in ancient Greece. Then you had the wealthy Romans building roads and inns just for leisure travel. Fast forward to the 17th century, which gave us the famous Grand Tour for the education of young aristocrats. But the real game changer? The Industrial Revolution. Suddenly you had trains and paid holidays, and that opened up travel for everybody. And today, we're in the digital age, where pretty much the entire world is just a few taps away. And this really puts it all into perspective. Think about it. Not that long ago, booking a trip meant physically going to a travel agency, flipping through these big paper brochures, and then waiting days for someone to call you back with a confirmation. Now, you can plan and book an entire international vacation, flights, hotels, tours, the whole shebang in about 15 minutes, right from the palm of your hand. That change is just incredible. Okay, so we've seen how one decision creates a huge ripple effect, and we've seen how travel has changed over time. But to truly understand tourism, you have to stop seeing it as just a series of individual actions. You have to see it as a complete, interconnected system.
And this system is basically made up of four key parts. First, you've got the tourist. That's our German couple. They create the demand. Then you've got their place of origin, which is Germany. You have the destination, which is Rhodes, and finally, you have the entire tourism industry, the airlines, the hotels, and yes, the tour guides that connect all the pieces.
So, where do you, the tour guide, fit into all of this? Let me be clear. You are not just some small part of the industry. You are the human link right at the absolute center of this system. You're the one connecting the traveler directly to the destination and making the whole experience come to life. Think of it this way. A flight delay isn't just a travel problem. It's a system failure. It sets off a domino effect. The hotel check-in is late, which means they miss their scheduled tour, which means their dinner reservation has to be moved. And who's on the ground managing all that chaos and putting the pieces back together? The guide. You are the system's official problem solver. This brings us to our final and maybe most important concept. What are we actually selling in tourism? It's not a car, it's not a phone. We are selling something you can't touch or hold. We're selling an invisible product. Let's compare. A material good, like a pair of sneakers, is tangible. You can touch it. You can store it in your closet. You own it. But a tourism product, like a vacation, it's completely intangible. You can't store a hotel night that went unsold yesterday. And you don't own the trip, you experience it. What you're really buying is the promise of an experience. So this invisible product has some really unique qualities. It's intangible, like we said, you can't hold it. It's also perishable. Think about that. An empty hotel room for one night is lost revenue you can never, ever get back. It's also produced and consumed at the exact same time. And most importantly, its quality depends almost entirely on the human factor.
Here is the absolute perfect way to picture this. You can have two hotels side by side. They have the exact same rooms, the same pool, the same price. But one of them has glowing 5-star reviews, and the other has, well, 2 stars. What's the only difference? The people, the service, the warm welcome from the receptionist, the helpfulness of the concierge, the enthusiasm of the tour guide. That is the real product.
So, as we wrap this up, I want you to remember this. Every trip that gets sold is a promise. It's a promise of an experience. And, as a future tour guide, you are the person who delivers on that promise. You are the human factor that can turn a simple trip into an unforgettable memory. So, the only question left is, what will your promise be?